The lifeblood of scientific research, money, and robust debate may be in conflict as academia anticipates a second Donald Trump presidency. Researchers at UCSD told KPBS's Amita Sharma their colleagues are chilling their own speech, a form of preemptive silencing out of fear of their federal funding may be cut off. She joins me now. Welcome, Amita.
Oh, it's good to be with you, Maya.
What is preemptive silencing?
So preemptive silencing is basically what happens when a powerful person or entity uses threats and or intimidation to mute people. In the case of UC San Diego scientists, they are censoring themselves. Some of them still remember what happened during President-elect Donald Trump's first term in office. They remember that climate scientists were terminated. They remember how Dr. Fauci was treated during the pandemic and the calls for him to be jailed, which still continue until today. I spoke with an infectious disease doctor at UC San Diego by the name of Davey Smith, and he says that his colleagues believe that that environment will return during Trump's second presidency, due to start next month. And so they simply don't want to be caught in the crosshairs.
So everybody's anxious. And then they're worried that if they say something, that it's going to come back on them. I depend on grants from the NIH. And if the NIH is getting cut on infectious diseases, then that's going to hurt my livelihood, but also my science, etc.
To be clear, no one at UCSD said any kind of edict has come down from the university's leadership about censoring their public statements, but there are potentially big consequences for scientists. UCSD receives $972 million in federal funding. About $557 million of that money comes from the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, and that also has a big impact on the local economy. No one is saying for certain that will go away if researchers speak out of turn, but there is a lot on the line if that does happen, or if priorities change, if there's payback from grudges held over from Trump's last term, such as getting rid of infectious disease research at the NIH. Smith says that would be devastating to preparation for the next pandemic.
As a virologist, bird flu is coming, by the way, and it is going to probably have some pandemic type effects as well. We're going to need those strong institutions to take care of it.
There's also a brain drain, which Smith says is already happening here. He knows scientists who have either left or are planning to leave in anticipation of the effect of a second Trump administration. Some of this feeling has echoes from the past. Stephanie Strathedy, a professor of medicine at UCSD, is an AIDS researcher. That work was stigmatized and targeted in the 1990s. She recalls scientists being audited for no apparent reason. She worries that Trump could usher in a new era of fear among scientists that could last generations. She says that, combined with the brain drain, could be hard to reverse.
Wipe the slate clean and start over again. It's going to take a lot of time to regrow that kind of institutional memory. And so it's yet another layer of unraveling that I think is going to be an issue.
But not everyone is worried. San Diego Congressman Scott Peters says local researchers should take a deep breath and chill. He thinks some of the fear is unwarranted and some of the threats coming from Trump's camp are bluster. He says both Democratic and Republican lawmakers and Trump are concerned about China overtaking it in research and aren't about to upend funding to San Diego's life sciences. But if he's wrong, he says he's prepared to fight for local scientists.
This congressional delegation, I in particular, have made it a priority to support the life sciences here with both public research dollars, which we've increased dramatically, and keeping an ecosystem where private investment also happens.
And Maya, I have to add that the self-censorship extends way beyond science into other academia, businesses. nonprofit advocacy groups, and even the media. You'll recall that both the Washington Post and the Los Angeles Times had written endorsements of Vice President Kamala Harris right before Election Day, but they scrapped them, a move that was widely seen as capitulation to Trump. I spoke with a retired UC San Diego political science professor by the name of Sam Popkin recently, and he said that I don't know that I would call this self-censorship. He said it is more what he would call reasoned cowardice.
Very interesting work. Thank you so very much, Amitha. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Maya.
And this story is part of our Public Matters project. It's a partnership with Voice of San Diego and iNewsSource. You can learn more at kpbs.org/publicmatters.